6 people are dead, 25 are in hospitals, and dozens more fell sick after eating what they thought were harmless frozen dinners. Wood splinters, plastic shards, metal fragments, ingredients that never belonged in your kitchen have quietly slipped into America's most trusted freezer brands. These aren't distant statistics. They're the dinner plates in our homes, the microwaves we run every night believing heat and eat means safe and simple. But the truth? Convenience has turned predatory. Behind every quick dinner label hides a maze of factory shortcuts, contaminated supply chains, and billion-dollar corporations betting you'll never read the fine print. So how did our freezers, once symbols of safety, become silent accomplices in a nationwide food crisis? How many families are one bite away from disaster, all in the name of saving 5 minutes? This is the Downturn Report, where the truth gets personal. Tonight, we expose the frozen food nightmare, 9 so-called convenient dinners that could put your health on the chopping block. But don't panic yet. At the end of each part, we'll show you safer, proven brands that still deserve a place in your freezer before trust and dinner are gone for good. Number 1. Stouffer's. The next time you open your freezer and see a Stouffer's label smiling back at you, remember it might not just be pasta under that sauce, but a splinter of betrayal dressed in marinara. In March 2025, Nestlé USA, the corporate parent of Stouffer's and Lean Cuisine, quietly issued a recall that felt more like a confession. Batches of its party-sized chicken lasagna were contaminated with wood-like material. Real splinters. Not seasoning, not herbs, just the kind of sharp surprise that belongs in a carpenter's toolbox, not your dinner tray. One consumer actually choked, forcing the FDA to intervene and classify it as a potential choking hazard. The affected meals were produced from August 2024 through March 2025 and sold nationwide. Consumers were told to return them for a refund. Translation? We almost fed you wood, but here's your money back. But the problem cuts deeper than one rogue batch. Stouffer's has long danced on the edge of trust. Under its Lean Cuisine label, sodium counts have been mislabeled more than once, and past recalls expose just how far corporate efficiency can stretch before snapping. You start to wonder if Lean Cuisine refers not to your waistline, but to how lean the oversight has become. Each box promises warmth and comfort, but behind that smiling, oven-baked image sits a labyrinth of machinery and cost-cutting decisions. It's like expecting grandma's kitchen and ending up with something built by Wall Street interns who think quality control is optional. Older Americans who built their lives on faith in familiar brands are now paying the price of that trust. The frozen aisle used to feel safe, predictable, reliable, the lazy night savior. But when a company valued at billions can let splinters slide past inspection, it's not a mistake, it's an insult. It's as if Nestlé handed you a meal and whispered, "Bon appétit," and good luck. And luck shouldn't be a necessary ingredient in dinner. If you're tired of feeling like your microwave is a roulette wheel, it's time to look elsewhere. Smaller, transparent brands such as Amy's Kitchen, Evil, Luvo, or Healthy Choice offer frozen meals with stricter sourcing, cleaner ingredients, and real accountability. Because in a world where heat and eat has become heat and hope, your freezer deserves better than another corporate gamble sealed in plastic. Number 2. Banquet. If you ever thought Banquet was your faithful shortcut to dinner, the comforting, no-fuss brand that turned freezer time into family time, think again. This so-called freezer friend has been serving up something closer to betrayal on ice. Back in 2007, Banquet's frozen pot pies, proudly produced by Conagra Brands, were tied to a coast-to-coast salmonella outbreak that sickened at least 401 people across 41 states and hospitalized more than 100. The Centers for Disease Control traced it back to Banquet's production lines, and what followed was a massive recall of chicken, turkey, and beef pot pies. The company scrambled to apologize, but apologies don't sanitize infections. For many Americans, those pies became a frozen monument to how cheap convenience can backfire. You'd think a brand scarred that badly would learn its lesson. But 16 years later, in September 2023, Banquet was again in the headlines, this time recalling 245,000 pounds of frozen chicken strip meals after plastic shards were found inside. One customer even suffered an oral injury, proving that the line between dinner and disaster can be thinner than a TV dinner tray. It's as if Banquet's quality control team went on a permanent lunch break, leaving consumers to chew through uncertainty. The pattern is clear. Whether it's bacteria or plastic, Banquet keeps reminding us that what's fast and cheap often hides a very expensive price: our health. The deeper rot runs through Conagra's boardrooms, where critics accuse the corporation of dragging its feet on recalls and putting PR spin before public safety. Imagine treating consumer protection like a nuisance paperwork chore, while families are rushing to the ER. That's not oversight, that's neglect in a suit and tie. For millions of Americans living on tight budgets, Banquet became a default dinner, a small luxury of warmth after long shifts. But when that comfort turns into risk, the betrayal cuts deep. It's like paying for peace of mind and getting a lawsuit instead. If you're craving real safety and flavor without gambling your teeth or stomach lining, try turning to alternatives that invest in food integrity rather than excuses. Brands like Sweet Earth Foods, Real Good Foods, Saffron Road, or Hungry Root. These names put more care into what ends up on your plate, and they don't serve their customers a side of anxiety with every bite. Number 3. Marie Callender's. For decades, Marie Callender's sold itself as the warm hug you could microwave, a cozy home-style escape for tired Americans who just wanted a dinner that didn't talk back. But behind that friendly packaging lies a story colder than the freezer aisle itself. In June 2023, the brand owned by Conagra Brands was forced to recall 2,717 pounds of its frozen beef shepherd's pie after customers found flexible plastic fragments hidden inside the meal. Imagine the betrayal. You reach for comfort and instead bite into plastic. The FDA and USDA both flagged it as a serious foreign matter hazard, a corporate way of saying, you could have been chewing on packaging instead of potatoes. And this wasn't the brand's first brush with disaster. Back in June 2010, Marie Callender's was linked to a nationwide outbreak of Salmonella Chester infections that sickened at least 37 people across 18 states. The culprit? Their cheesy chicken and rice frozen dinners, comfort food turned microbial minefield. Victims described brutal fevers, bloody diarrhea, days in the hospital, and weight loss of up to 10 pounds. Conagra's public statements at the time read like a bad script from a PR firm. Vague sympathy, no accountability, and plenty of deflection. It's the kind of corporate apology that sounds like, "We regret your inconvenience," when they really mean, "We regret getting caught." What's haunting isn't just the contaminated meals, it's the repetition. The same company, the same carelessness, the same, "it won't happen again," until it does. Conagra keeps selling the illusion of homemade warmth, but the only thing homey about it is the recurring déjà vu of factory negligence. It's a reminder that behind every comfort meal, edge showing golden crusts and bubbling gravy, lies a warehouse full of conveyor belts where oversight takes the night off. For working-class Americans counting pennies and minutes, this isn't convenience, it's roulette served on a paper tray. If you're still loyal to that green box, maybe it's time to thaw your trust instead. Seek out frozen meal makers that prioritize transparency and real quality. Try Deep Indian Kitchen, Blake's All Natural Foods, Tattooed Chef, or Primal Kitchen. They're not perfect, but they're a far cry from the assembly line shortcuts that keep turning dinner into danger. Because when comfort food becomes a cautionary tale, it's no longer dinner, it's denial on a plate. Number 4, Hungry Man. They called it Hungry Man as if the name alone could make you feel powerful, like a lumberjack conquering dinner after a long day. But what it really delivered was more like a warning label wearing a flannel shirt. In July 2018, Hungry Man's Chipotle BBQ sauced boneless chicken wings was slapped with a nationwide public health alert after federal inspectors discovered that its mashed potatoes, yes, the side dish contained whey powder potentially contaminated with salmonella. The product came in 15.25-ounce microwavable trays stamped with Best by September 6, 2019, and EST P138, P138. Officials urged Americans to toss them out immediately, warning that salmonella poisoning could bring fever, cramps, bloody diarrhea, and even death for vulnerable groups. Imagine expecting comfort food and instead getting a microbial landmine disguised as a hearty meal. No illnesses were officially reported, but that doesn't mean the brand gets a clean bill of health. Hungry Man, born under Pinnacle Foods and later absorbed into Conagra's industrial machine, has followed the same slippery slope that turned convenience into compromise. It's the same playbook: cut corners, scale up, hope nobody notices until someone does. The label promises hearty and easy, but the truth is closer to hefty and hazardous. When a brand that sells itself as the gentleman's choice can't even guarantee the basic safety of its ingredients, that's not dinner, that's Russian roulette in a plastic tray. The man-sized meal campaign starts to feel like a joke, one that mocks the very people who trusted it. Working Americans who just wanted a filling meal after a shift, not a side of bacteria with their mashed potatoes. This isn't just one bad batch. It's the reflection of an entire corporate culture where safety checks take a back seat to profit timelines. Your freezer shouldn't double as a petri dish of corporate neglect. Hungry Man might sell you strength on the box, but inside is the fragility of a system that values speed over scrutiny. In today's America, where every dollar counts and every meal feels like a small act of survival, no one should have to gamble their health for the sake of convenience. If you still want big flavor without the big risks, turn to frozen brands that care about quality and sourcing. Try Lean Cuisine Balance Bowls, Good Food Made Simple, Blake's All Natural Meals, or Tattooed Chef. They're proof that comfort can come without contamination, and that real strength isn't found in oversized portions, it's in the honesty behind the label. Number 5, Jimmy Dean. Jimmy Dean used to mean slow mornings, warm biscuits, and a southern drawl of comfort, the kind of brand that made you think of porch breakfasts and radio jingles, not hospital visits or splinters in your teeth. But by late September 2025, that image cracked wide open. The company, owned by Tyson Foods through Hillshire Brands, launched one of the largest frozen food recalls in recent memory. 58 million pounds of frozen corn dogs and sausage-on-a-stick products were pulled off shelves after inspectors found pieces of wood embedded in the batter. That's right, actual wooden shards mixed into what was supposed to be your breakfast. At least 5 people have already reported injuries, forcing the USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service to label it a Class 1 recall. A reasonable probability of severe injury or death. Try reading that over your morning coffee. It's not the first time Jimmy Dean's quick and hearty promise turned into a mouthful of metal or splinters. Back in 2018, the brand recalled over 29,000 pounds of sausage links due to possible metal fragments. You'd think finding metal in your meat would have triggered a corporate awakening, but here we are again, wood this time, not steel. Tyson's PR machine scrambled to calm the storm, but behind the polite press releases lies a pattern as clear as those wood shards. Systemic neglect dressed up as convenience. Americans were told this was fast, easy, dependable, but when your breakfast comes with a side of sharp objects, dependable starts to sound like a punchline. It's more than just contamination, it's a betrayal of the blue-collar trust Jimmy Dean built its empire on. For working people, retirees, and families scraping through grocery inflation, the freezer aisle isn't about luxury, it's about survival and simplicity. And yet the very brands built to serve them are now gambling with their safety. It's the cruel irony of modern food giants. They market nostalgia while mass-producing negligence. Tyson can rebrand, repackage, and reword, but the truth remains lodged like a splinter between profit and conscience. If you still crave that easy breakfast without the hidden hazards, look towards safer, transparent names, brands like Morningstar Farms, Hillary's Eat Well, Gardein, or Blake's All Natural Foods. Each offers frozen breakfast or meal options that haven't made headlines for metal or wood, proving you can have convenience without catastrophe. Because breakfast should wake you up, not send you to the emergency room. Number 6, Kid Cuisine. Once the smiling penguin on the box felt like a safe bet, a little tray of nostalgia that promised an easy fix for tired parents and hungry kids. But today, kid cuisine looks less like a childhood treat and more like a corporate sleight of hand in cartoon form. This brand, owned by Conagra Brands, has long traded on the illusion of fun, balanced meals for kids, when in reality, it's closer to dessert dressed as dinner. By 2020, lawsuits began surfacing, accusing the company of undeclared allergens and deceptive labeling. Advocacy groups piled on, calling out the brand for marketing ultra-processed, sugar-packed meals to children, meals that look colorful and innocent on the box but are a nutritional nightmare inside. It's as if the penguin mascot himself were leading a conga line straight into a trap of sodium, corn syrup, and artificial dyes. Even without a major recall in 2025, Kid Cuisine's record reads like a slow-motion scandal. The ethical rot isn't in one faulty batch, it's baked into the business model. Parents see a cute package and think, safe, easy, fun, while the brand quietly sells convenience at the expense of growing bodies. Each tray feels less like dinner and more like an experiment in how far corporations can push sugar and additives before parents push back. The irony is sharp. The same brand that built its empire on the trust of families now depends on that very trust to slip through nutritional loopholes. The meals may come with chicken nuggets or mac and cheese, but they also carry a silent side dish corporate cynicism, served cold. What's most chilling is that kid cuisine isn't just shaping dinner habits, it's shaping expectations. A generation of children grows up believing that bright colors mean healthy and microwave meals mean love. The brand turns parental exhaustion into profit, dressing processed junk in a costume of care. It's comfort food weaponized with marketing psychology. And when we hand that tray to our children, we're not just feeding them calories, we're feeding them a corporate lesson about trust. For families trying to break that cycle, there are safer, cleaner paths in the freezer aisle. Choose child-focused brands that value real nutrition and transparency. Annie's Signature Bowls, Simple Truth Kids Meals, Mother Hen Family Meals, or Open Nature Kids Entrees. They prove that kid-friendly doesn't have to mean corporate-friendly, and that dinner can still be fun without selling out your child's health. Number 7, Hot Pockets. Somewhere between midnight hunger and poor judgment lies the Hot Pocket, the microwavable calzone lookalike that's fed generations of tired students, night shift workers, and insomniacs looking for comfort in under 3 minutes. But peel back that flaky crust, and what you'll find isn't convenience, it's chaos wrapped in pastry. In January 2021, Nestlé USA issued a Class 1 recall of more than 760,000 pounds of Hot Pocket sandwiches after discovering that some units contained shards of glass and hard plastic. The USDA didn't sugarcoat it. Eating them could cause serious adverse health consequences or death. Imagine biting into something that's supposed to soothe your hunger and instead realizing your dinner might double as a dental weapon. And if that wasn't enough, rewind to 2014, when Hot Pockets got caught up in a massive meat recall involving tens of thousands of pounds of unfit for human consumption beef. That's bureaucratic language for you weren't supposed to eat that, but you did. It's the kind of revelation that makes even a gas station burrito look like fine dining. Each scandal paints a grim picture of a brand that's been marketed as the ultimate quick bite, but operates more like a game of Russian roulette for your digestive system. Nestlé's glossy commercials whisper, "Just heat and eat," but their recall record screams, "Just heat and pray." What makes this worse is how deeply this brand has embedded itself in American life. For low-income families, retirees, or anyone juggling long hours and small paychecks, Hot Pockets are more than a snack. They're a shortcut, a small comfort in a hard day. But when that convenience comes laced with glass and unfit meat, it's not a shortcut anymore. It's sabotage sold in bulk. The freezer aisle was supposed to save time, not shorten lifespans. Yet the people most dependent on cheap convenience are the ones paying the highest price in risk. That's the quiet cruelty of big food. They sell survival in boxes, then gamble with the contents. If you still crave something hot, handheld, and trustworthy, there are safer brands that deliver flavor without fear. Try Bagel Bites, handhelds, Califia flatbread wraps, Sargento melt-and-go sandwiches, or deep Indian frozen tandoori wraps, each designed for the same grab-and-go ease, but without the corporate roulette wheel spinning behind every bite. Because a late-night snack should comfort you, not make you wonder if your molar will survive the experience. Number 8. Good and Gather. The next time you reach for Target's cheerful, neatly labeled Good and Gather freezer line, remember, even the cleanest packaging can hide the dirtiest oversight. In September 2025, Target announced a nationwide recall of 57,240 units of its Good and Gather frozen burrito bowl blend, Southwest style, after 3 separate shoppers made a discovery no vegetarian ever wants to make shrimp, right there in what was marketed as a vegetable-only meal. The presence of undeclared shellfish isn't just false advertising. It's a health landmine for anyone with allergies. The USDA and FDA flagged it as a serious safety lapse, warning that shellfish contamination can lead to anaphylaxis, hospitalization, or worse. The product's best buy date read August 24, 2026, meaning it had plenty of time to slip quietly into home freezers across all 50 states. What makes this incident particularly alarming is that Good and Gather isn't a small, fly-by-night brand, it's Target's own private label. The house name families have come to trust is both safe and affordable. Yet behind the pastel packaging and corporate polish lies the same industrial machine that's been cutting corners for years. Private label foods often operate with razor-thin margins and outsourced supply chains, meaning when something goes wrong, it's rarely a fluke, it's a symptom. What Target called a voluntary recall looked a lot more like damage control. Their calm press release asking consumers to return or discard the product felt less like concern and more like a PR whisper. Please don't make us trend on social media. The betrayal runs deeper than one tainted burrito bowl. Good and Gather's entire brand identity was built on the illusion of purity, wholesome, minimal ingredients for mindful shoppers. But this shrimp fiasco shattered that facade like a dropped freezer door. For millions of working Americans who rely on store brands to balance their grocery budgets, it's a harsh reminder that affordable doesn't always mean accountable. When you trust a retailer as big as Target, you expect your food to come with flavor, not shellfish surprise. If you're ready to thaw that trust and make a safer switch, turn toward frozen meal brands that put transparency before cost-cutting. Talenti Harvest Kitchen, Bird's Eye Selects Crispy and Creamy, Healthy Choice Market Bowls, or Amy's Kitchen Bowls. These alternatives still sit in the freezer aisle, but without the same ethical frostbite. Because when your meat-free dinner comes with hidden shrimp, it's not just a labeling error, it's a corporate magic trick where your trust disappears first. Number 9. Market Side and Home Chef. The final act in this frozen food horror show belongs to the seemingly innocent pasta trays from store brands like Market Side, Walmart, and Home Chef, both supplied by Fresh Realm Incas names that sound wholesome enough until you realize what's hiding behind their freshly prepared smiles. In June 2025, Nate's Fine Foods Inc., one of Fresh Realm's key suppliers, confirmed that its pre-cooked linguine pasta had tested positive for Listeria monocytogenes, the deadly bacterium that doesn't just cause illness, it claims lives. By late October, the toll had climbed to at least 27 infections across 18 U.S. states, 25 hospitalizations, 6 deaths, and even 1 documented fetal loss. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration soon confirmed a sweeping recall of more than 245,000 pounds of ready-to-eat pasta meals and deli salads, distributed under major store labels including Trader Joe's, Kroger, Albertsons, and Walmart. What looked like a simple frozen dinner had turned into a national biohazard, packaged with a barcode. Listeria isn't some background risk, it's the nightmare that survives the freezer. It thrives in the very cold spaces we thought were safe, waiting patiently to turn convenience into catastrophe. And that's exactly what happened here. The outbreak didn't stem from a single slip-up. It was the result of systemic negligence. Fresh Realm and its partners have long been flagged for quality control lapses, rushing production lines to feed America's obsession with heat and eat. Each glossy label promising home-style pasta masked a deeper truth, an industrial kitchen where oversight was optional and deadlines ruled. In chasing speed and savings, They gambled with something far more precious: public health. For the average shopper, especially working families and retirees who rely on affordable store-brand meals, this feels like betrayal served cold. You buy convenience to avoid risk, not invite it into your home. But when pasta meant to save you time ends up sending people to the hospital, the line between comfort and catastrophe blurs beyond recognition. It's the cruelest irony. Frozen meals designed for safety became silent carriers of sickness, each tray a Trojan horse hiding bacterial warfare. If you're still stocking those store-brand pasta meals because they're cheap and quick, pause before you press defrost. There are safer, higher-standard alternatives that don't treat food safety like an afterthought. Blue Apron frozen entrees, Evil Cafe bowls, Luvo Stay True meals, or Saffron Road frozen bowls. These brands invest in traceable ingredients, cleaner sourcing, and stronger oversight, proving that convenience doesn't have to come with a body count. Because when dinner ends with a recall notice instead of satisfaction, it's not food anymore, it's a corporate crime scene. Before your next frozen dinner, ask what's really thawing your meal or your trust. Subscribe now before truth freezes again.
Thanks so much for sticking with us to the very end. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe so you won't miss any of our daily updates. And now feel free to check out some of our latest and most popular videos showing up on your screen. Goodbye, and see you in the next one.